Hey, badass business owners. Today I want to talk about a partnership that I think you need to create if you really want to get your business going to that next level. So whether you have a newer business and you're looking for a way to expand it, to get new customers, to get your name out there, or you have an existing business and you're looking at a way that you can help blow it up a little bit bigger than what it is today. And that is a partnership with a real estate agent. Now, please follow me for this one because there's 4 great reasons why I think a partnership with the real estate agent could be very beneficial for your business. So let's jump right in. And the very first thing is nobody refers more than a real estate agent. If you go to any networking group and ask them who their number 1 referrer is or their number 2 referrer, they're going to tell you it's the real estate agents. They love having real estate agents in their group because a real estate agent is constantly referring people. Yes, I am a real estate agent. I've seen this work in person and every single day. I was just in a networking group for the last 2 years and I was the number 1 referrer for those 2 years. It's not because I'm something special. I'm an introvert. I don't even go out there and do all that stuff. But because of my business, I'm able to refer out tons of business to people. So can you imagine just having a few different real estate agents that you work with that can help you out? They are referring for everything. Think about this. They've got buyers and they've got sellers, right? Well, if I've got a seller, I need to help get that home ready for them to sell, which means I've got to refer them out to my network of people to get that home ready. Then we get it under contract and we go through the inspection period and there's more items that need to be addressed. I go back to my referral base and I give out more referrals to people. Then if I'm on the other side, if I represent the buyer, once I close on the house, I'm still going to have projects and things that I need to get done. Or maybe I'm new to the neighborhood and I need to know other businesses that are in the area that I can use. I'm going to turn to my real estate agent who I've already built up this trust with. So if you think about it as a real estate agent, you're constantly giving out referrals to other people. That is by far the number 1 most powerful tool they have in their tool belt and why you want to partner with them. The second biggest reason is think about this. All of those people that they've been referring you to are going to need people that they can use on an ongoing basis. So these people become like a real estate agent becomes like a tree, all right? Because those branches of those customers they just gave you create even more branches because they're now using you again and again. They're telling their family and friends and they're telling their neighbors and they're getting on Facebook recommending you. So that business is growing from this one little referral that this one agent gave you. Now, if this agent gave you multiple referrals, guess what? Those branches really start to fill out. More leaves are put onto the tree, which is leaves equate to money. You're making more money. Another great reason to be with a real estate agent. They're constantly giving their referrals out to their vendors who they use to other agents. I can't tell you, a week does not go by that I don't get at least 2 or 3 requests from my fellow agents asking me who I use for something. They come to me and they go, hey, who do you use for this? Who do you use for that? And I just send them over my guy and my gal. Whoever I use, that's who I refer to them. So now as a real estate agent, not only am I referring my customers out to them, I'm also referring out these other agents to them. And guess what those agents are going to do? Those agents are going to create their own trees of referrals because they're going to start using, if you win them over, then they're going to start referring out their customers. And guess what? And their customers are going to turn around and refer their family, friends, and everything else. And now you're planting a whole grove of trees because you've got the one real estate agent who now just not only populated a tree of money on their side, by them telling these other agents, they're creating a whole grove of other businesses and other people and other ones that want to use you and even more profits and everything else. And the 4th reason that you want to use a real estate agent is the fact that they are very loyal. Listen, as a real estate agent, you don't want to have to bounce around from person to person to person. You want to know that you have a go-to landscaper, go-to handyman, a go-to whatever it is that they're looking for, painters, septic people. I can't tell you, the list goes on, fencing, gutters, you name it, roofers. There's so many different people that you have to have at any given time. You don't want to go out and seek new people all the time. So they're very loyal to the people that they hire. So if you can get in with a real estate agent and become their number one or even their number two, which I'll talk more about in a minute, if you can get in and become part of that group, guess what? They're going to constantly be giving you that business because of that loyalty. Now, that loyalty comes at a cost because they want you to stay loyal. Because the minute you start, because as a real estate agent, so many people are in have their hands on the transaction, that the minute somebody who has their hands on the transaction start creating problems or issues, they're going to let them go. This is why I said become their number two, because even if you're the backup person, the minute that main person they're loyal to starts dropping on customer service, doing a poor job, can't get things done, guess what? They're going to go turn to number two. So even if you can just get your foot in the door, it leads to more business. Maybe they are still loyal to their number one, but their number one is booked on a job for the next 2 weeks and they need it tomorrow. Well, guess what? Number two comes in and gets to be the backup person. There's nothing wrong with being their number one, two, or three, because you're still going to continue to get that business. Now, I'm not going to tell you that working with a real estate agent is going to be a walk in the park. It's not. Some of them are so darn demanding. A lot of them wait to the last minute. A lot of them forget they need something and they need it tomorrow. Sometimes they're going to have you do bids and you're not going to get that job. But really, honestly, not getting the job on a bid, that happens in regular life as well with other people. So don't get too hung up, because if you can get 8 out of 10, that's a great thing. Worst case scenario, even if they have you bid out something, like for example, if they have you bid out windows or something like that, you may not get that job, but they're going to give that information over to the new buyer, who still may give you a call. So you never know when this business is going to continue to come in. So it's not perfect. Life with a real estate agent is not perfect. Some of them are ding dongs. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I work with some folks that, sometimes I'm in a transaction and I can't stand the person that I'm working with because they're driving me nuts. So I get it. Not all real estate agents are great, but if you can find a way to tap into 1, 2, 3, 4 of them and just watch that business continue to grow. I've watched it happen in our own office. I've watched people brand new in their business come in begging for business. They come in over and over and over. And guess what? At one point they get their shot, and next thing you know, they have thriving businesses here in our community. And it's because they were persistent and kept showing up, and they just needed one agent to believe in them. And then once that one agent believed in them, then guess what? They referred them to the next agent, to the next agent, to the next agent. I've been part of that. I've been, and I'm not trying to brag. I just know of 2 people, for example, that I gave a shot to, and next thing you know, more and more people in our office started using them. All you need is somebody to open up that door, to crack that door. So how do you meet an agent in the first place? You might be asking. One, you're going to meet them out in the wild. It seems like everybody and their mother's related to a real estate agent. So just keep an ear out. You can join those networking groups and you can meet some of them. But there's also some other ways. Every time you see an open house sign, just stop by. Just introduce yourself. Don't try to shove your business down their throat. Say, hey, look, I understand you probably have someone you use for all your landscaping needs. I'd love it if you would just keep me in mind if you ever need somebody that can help you out. Just be like that. Just constantly do it over and over. The guy I use for pool service, guess what? I saw him over and over and over because he kept popping in. And then one day he came in, dropped off his stuff, and I go, wait a minute. Hey, you did the pools, right? And I started using them, and guess what? I've been using them ever since. So you never know in that time frame. Go to every real estate office, collect their cards, create an email list that you just once a month send them a tip or something like that, where you just keep them in mind, or every couple of weeks. You just got to get in front of them, because once you get your shot, that's your time to shine, because that's when you're going to go in there and you're going to knock their socks off with your customer service and with the quality of what you do. And you're going to really set the bar so that they go, holy cow, I need this person on my team. Because really that's what it is. When I sit down at the end of the year and I think about everybody that's part of my team and who helped me out throughout the course of the year, guess what? The vast majority of those people are the other small business owners in town that stepped up when I needed them. And because I treat them well, guess what? They're going to continue to do something for me. Now, I'm not saying all of them are great. Like I've said, some real estate agents could be a pain in the keister, but you can weed through that to get to the ones that have great blossoming trees. By the way, I had a conversation with one person. One time we were into this whole thing where they were really upset with one of the real estate agents. This is one of the vendors and their business. They were just really upset with this agent. And I'm like, well, okay, well, does this agent refer you? Because this agent really didn't do a lot of business. And they were thinking about dropping them because they didn't really pay them on time and they weren't necessarily the nicest person. I'm like, well, tell me about your relationship with them. Have they sent you business? Obviously, they don't do sales, but do they give your name out? And they're like, well, they do refer us to a lot of other agents. And I'm like, okay, well, now you get the risk reward. You only have to do jobs for them maybe once or twice a year, but they're giving you multiple referrals through other agents. Then I wouldn't cut those ties yet. But if they're not giving you something else in exchange, then drop them, let them go. Like I said, real estate agents are a dime a dozen. You just need a handful of them to really be successful in your business. Because I'm telling you, here's part of the problem that happens. And this happens all the time. People blow up their business, and next thing you know, they're out of business. They're victims of their own success because real estate agents kept calling them and sending them business. And pretty soon, guess what? They could no longer use that real estate agent. They could no longer take on new jobs. They could no longer continue to do it. It's crazy. It's mind-boggling. I can't tell you how many cleaners, for example, house cleaners, have been put out of business just because they've gotten way too much business and it kept coming and coming because real estate agents, it's very difficult to find, cleaners or somebody that you want to get. Sometimes agents will hoard names, like they don't want to give out their names because they know pretty soon their business will blow up and everybody and their mother will use them and they will no longer have them. It's crazy how much business you can get if you can really tap into this. And I know I'm rattling on and on because I really do believe in this. If I didn't think that this was a great opportunity for a lot of you guys, I would not spend the time and energy to talk about it because I've just watched it happen over and over. I could go on and on about this. By the way, well, before I forget this, because I've watched this happen too, remember who brought you to the party. There's going to be these original 1, 2, 3 agents that really help you get your business off the ground, and you're going to become very successful. And don't make the mistake of where pretty soon you forget those first 1 or 2 who brought you to the party. And what happens is you start to not be able to be available. You slack a little bit on your customer service. Remember I told you how loyal they are? They're loyal up until it's a pain point for their clients. And when their clients start having difficulty with you, or you start being late, or you start not doing the right job, what's going to end up happening is that agent's going to go to their number 2. And when your key core people stop using you, it's going to be a slow thing, but they're going to stop giving you their jobs, which means you're going to stop getting their customers and clients, which means you're going to stop getting their referrals as well. They're going to stop referring you to other real estate agents. They're going to stop this whole thing. It's kind of like watching something. You ever watch those things where they blow up something and then they pull it all back to where it was in the beginning before it blew up, or a scene where somebody jumps off a cliff into the water and then they pull them out of the water and put them back on the cliff. It's kind of like that. If you don't continue to take care of those original people, you risk drying up the well. And you think to yourself going, hey, don't worry about it. I can replace them as an agent. But you really have to ask yourself, can you? Because if they're constantly giving you new people day after day, month after month, year after year, when they stop that, they're giving it now to a competitor. And that competitor is going to start going. And then when those other agents come up to them and say, who do you use? Well, I no longer, who's that guy you told me about? Oh, I don't use them anymore. Their service kind of started slipping. So now I started using this person. Well, guess what? It starts to snowball the opposite direction where people stop using you. So just be really careful. I'm not saying kiss a real estate agent's butt. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is, always, I don't care if it's a real estate agent or anybody, if you have anybody in your business that is your most loyal referral, no matter what business they're in, you need to make sure that you never burn that bridge, that you always keep in mind that is somebody who is constantly bringing you business. And unless they're treating you poorly, unless they're screwing you over, unless they're dishonest, you need to make sure you cultivate that relationship because they're continually bringing more value. They're advertising that you never have to pay for, and you can't beat that. Anytime you could have great word of mouth without paying for it, and you can have somebody out there who's creating business for you, you never want to burn that bridge. You always want to make sure that you take care of it. I don't care if it's a real estate agent or the butcher next door. It doesn't matter who that person is. So keep that in mind, because if you're going to partner up with a real estate agent, you're looking into this for the long haul. And like I said, unless they become unscrupulous, they treat you poorly, treat your people poorly, whatever the case may be, there are some agents out there that will treat you poorly, that'll try to nickel and dime you. Go ahead and let them go. I don't care. If they're hurting your business and they're hurting your profits, then yeah, you need to let them go. All I'm saying is just step back, look at the big picture, and make sure that it's the right move for your business. If it is, absolutely do it. I'm going to support you 100%. The whole point of me doing this entire episode today was to really open up your mind and say, look, if you're looking for a way to get your business to start blowing up and to start getting bigger, it's going to take a bit, but get in touch with 1, 2, 3 agents. I'm telling you, realtors have the opportunity to let you go. And if you have a brick and mortar in town and you don't go into people's home, same thing. If you don't think that as a real estate agent that new buyer doesn't ask us, hey, who should I take my dogs to get groomed? Who should I go to get my nails done? Who's the best butcher in town? Who's the best this? Who's the best that? Who should I use? I'm telling you, a real estate agent is good for all of your businesses. They just come in contact with a lot of people with a lot of questions about who to use in town because they don't have those people in their back pocket. They're going to turn to Facebook. They're going to turn to the real estate agent. They're going to turn to all these things. That's all I've tried to tell you guys on this podcast is you need to make sure that you get out there and you start listening and learning who are the people that have the ability to refer your business out for little to no cost at all. And a real estate agent is definitely somebody that needs to be on that list. All right, I've been rattling about this long enough. It's time for me to go. Listen, I want to do everything I can to help you guys take your business to that next level. So if you ever have an idea or a topic or anything you want me to try to give you my 2 cents on, just drop me an email at Tammy@localsmallbusinesscoach.com. Tammy, Tammy, @localsmallbusinesscoach.com. You know I'm going to answer you back, as those of you that have emailed me before are surprised and shocked sometimes that I actually do answer you. And don't forget, we do have the YouTube channel where I'm trying to put some more videos out there to help you guys out as well. And I'm going to do some episodes here real soon. We're going to get back into doing the numbers more like we were before because I want to make sure that we take a dive into those again. I've got some ideas percolating in my head. Now get out there and be the badass that I know you are. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell. It's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.